Hi everyone, hope you're well. Sorry I've been absent for a while, but I thought it would be good to give a short update on what's happened since my 3G mushroom trip and how following the guidance has unfolded. So just up top, I don't think tons has happened, but then again, I don't think the guidance I was given was something you can just check off quickly. It takes time, and the guidance I was given involved taking a couple of courses. So at the moment, I'm towards the end of a mediumship course that I'm doing with the College of Psychic Studies. And I haven't started the acting course yet. That will be happening in a couple of weekends. I am particularly excited about that one because I do have experience with acting. I've done stand-up, I've done improv, I did a sketch comedy course, so it's not totally random, the suggestions that I got. And just to give you a bit more context regarding the mediumship course, so why that came up for me on the trip was because I think it was at least a year ago, that's when I completed my Reiki Master course. And with every Reiki course that you do, you have an attunement which increases your frequency. So therefore you become more energetically sensitive to things. And to be honest, this was definitely one of my objectives for doing Reiki, was because when you have these energy upgrades, you are more susceptible to interesting occurrences and to increasing your psychic abilities, which I believe we are all born with. And sometimes they come very natural to people, but they can be cultivated because we all have them, and with a bit of coaxing and training, they no longer have to be dormant. So what happened after finishing the Reiki Master weekend was one weekend, probably within a month of the course finishing. It's only a weekend course. Actually, I think it was 2 weekends. I think it was the same morning, I just heard these voices, and first of all, I could hear my name being called out, and it sounded like my mum and my brother calling me, my younger brother. It sounded like their voices, and I was like, okay, I've had that before. I mean, I don't live with them or anything, so it is a weird thing for me to have heard. But I have heard voices calling my name in the past, and it is usually in that stage of waking up, so and becoming fully conscious, that liminal stage in which you're in the theta brainwave mode. And so I heard the voices and I was like, okay, cool. I think I fell back to sleep, and then I woke up again. And when I woke up, I heard this male American voice. It sounded very cheesy, like a sports commentator or something like that. What I heard was, "Mike Rico here." And that did just make me freeze a little bit, because I was like, what is that? What is happening? Because I had never had such instances like that before. I've heard things in a clairaudient way. Maybe that's stuff for another video. But this was really, it was so specific, somebody mentioning their name, and it's not like I have a radio in that corner of the room. And when I've tried to hear my spirit guides, I've definitely not received anything like that before. And because of the name, it did make me think, my goodness, is this an actual person? This could be their spirit. So afterwards, I did do some Googling. Most of the Mike Ricos that came up, they were based in the States. And I think a few had passed away, but there was just no way of being able to pin the voice to any of those Mike Ricos that I had found. And nothing else happened subsequently. But what did happen was it opened this possibility of contemplating that I could possibly be a medium. And after that, I remember going to visit a friend soon after, and that day the word medium just kept popping up. And for example, just silly examples, like there was a bin with a plastic bag, and the word medium just seemed to pop up on it, which was just referring to the size of the bag. Because I know when you focus on something, you're more likely to see evidence of that in your day-to-day activities, which kind of like confirmation bias or whatever. And I remember that day when I told my friend about everything, she said, maybe you are a medium. But I didn't do anything about it because this is not really a field I actually want to be in, if I'm honest. I want to pursue a career in healing, but I feel my perspective on this has changed a bit because receiving messages from people's loved ones is a very healing experience for them. So that is my new approach to this. But as I said, this was not a talent, an ability that I was seeking out. On that though, just to give you an update on the course, I think I only have 2 sessions left. I think I've done around 6. And in my dreams, I guess I was hoping I would do the course and quickly it would be like somebody just flicked a switch and I'm like, oh yeah, getting a message from this person and this person, here you go, enjoy, I'm glad that's helping you. But that definitely isn't the way it's going. Not just for myself, but I get the feeling that's the case for a majority of the students on the course. And I have voiced that to the tutor, just saying, I really feel when we're put together with people, we're put in these breakout rooms on Zoom, that I'm just being dropped in the middle of the sea, and I find it very hard to navigate, I second guess the information I'm getting. Sometimes it's completely wrong. So when I mentioned that to her, she did talk about in the next class we were going to be using oracle cards, so I have those now. And this thing that I am fiddling with is a pendulum. I'm going to try that. Maybe that can help me in the future. But it's definitely, let's say, it's not like somebody switched on the tap and it's all flowing out. And one lady I was partnered with, very sweet lady, she echoed my feelings about how we were progressing. And she told me that her partner is a medium and he gives readings at spiritualist churches. But it took him 2 years to hear from spirits that passed over. And her and I were like, we just don't have that patience, if we're honest. But let's just see. And obviously, it's not just about getting it on the course. There's several levels of courses available. I'm only on the second one, because the first one you didn't have to do if you've done other courses at the college. So I went to the second one, and yeah, your development goes beyond just doing a course. So we'll see what happens there, but it would be great if I could just have a natural boost where, if this really is something I need to do, that it just becomes more natural to me. That would be great. The second update I have is regarding the colonoscopy part of the message I received in the trip. I haven't had one, but I'm trying to avoid ever getting to that place. But the thing is, at the time, that message didn't resonate with me, because the actual issues I was experiencing and still do are regarding my digestion. But then I realized that the digestion is done by the smaller intestine, and the colon is the larger parts of the intestine. So I thought, okay, it's all related, all in the same ballpark. So I have done a fasting mimicking diet this month. I did that for 5 days. It was pretty painful, must say, because it has been hot here in London recently, and you just miss food. You just go, oh my goodness, I really fancy this. I make really nice tasty food, and so does my partner. Or we order, food that's bursting with flavor, and you just miss that joy. It gives you that enjoyment. So that was interesting, because now the other day I did have an urge to have a pizza. I had to say, Pizza Hut, deep pan crust. I just love it. I've been to Naples. I had a pizza there. No way. I don't know why, but just like deep pan just beats it. Beats all the others for me. But I did have this step back, and I realized I'm actually not hungry. I am just wanting that taste. So doing the fasting mimicking diet does sometimes put your food desires, wants into perspective a little bit. And it's definitely helped me in terms of eating healthier and just, giving my body, my digestion system a rest. So I think it has been really useful, and I have felt as though I've experienced less digestion issues as a result. Just going to keep it up, and what I'm trying to do on some days at least is to do intermittent fasting to give my stomach a nice break for a period of time, several days a week. So I think that's the way to go for me, really. So yeah, that is my update, and I really hope that I will be able to give you some more sensational updates in the future. The thing is, I always believe so much is possible. I'm just a bit like, I'm not sure why I haven't won the lottery multiple times already. And I think sometimes reality just doesn't meet my expectations. But also I know patience is something that I am forever working on. And I think that is something, a topic, a theme that's coming up for me. It is about patience, it is about self-discipline and resilience. So these are the things I'm working on at the moment, and I do think that those fit in nicely with the goals, with the suggestions that the mushrooms provided. So those are my updates. Thank you so much for listening. and all keep well. Bye.